FC Soccer live stream starts now. Brought to you by Sports Pulse Digital.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Guevara. If you can remain standing for the playing of the national anthem.
Ambition, effort, discipline, integrity, humility. These are some of the values that describe FC Scorpion, and look at where it's gotten them so far. Here we are in Linwood, California for tonight's matchup between the champions of the SoCal North, FC Scorpions, as they take on the champions of the SoCal South Conference of the Division I UPSL, Playmaker FC. One of these teams is going to be victorious tonight and go home with not only the SoCal trophy for Division I, but automatic promotion for next season. My name is Zach Durham. I'm here with Fox Figueroa. Once again, here at Linwood High School for the UPSL Division I SoCal Championship match. And what is gearing up to be an exciting one against two heavyweight offenses.
Well, Zach, this is it. Every young player dreams about these kinds of games, an opportunity to play in a championship, an opportunity to play for promotion. Tonight, you said it, we have two powerhouse champions from their divisions. The focus tonight will be on these offenses that have soared above the pack in their divisions. Both the Scorpions and the Playmaker FC have scored commanding goals that lead above the rest in their division. 47 goals for the Playmakers on the year and 63 for the Scorpions. However, tonight it's a different assignment. Both defenses haven't let up many opportunities on the year, especially with the Scorpions only letting up 6 goals on the year. The question tonight will be, who will be able to capitalize on these opportunities? The Scorpions have played amazing all year on both sides of the ball, and they know it. You can see the confidence gleaming off of them as they are ready for tonight. They have experience against tough teams like this before, and that's what's going to be their key tonight. They got to stay in the game, and someone will step up and make the big play.
110 goals. That is correct. You heard me right. 110 goals between these two teams through 10 matches apiece. Somebody's going to have to win this one as we are minutes away from kickoff. Once again, we are here in Linwood High School, home of your FC Scorpions. As we'll get into our starting 11 for your Scorpions. In goal, it's Nathan Rodriguez. He's got 3 clean sheets on the season. The back 3 will consist of William Blanco, Angel Rubio, and Miguel Ruiz. Very experienced back 3 that have all played together at least 7 times together this season. A midfield four, I should say, of Marcos Velasco, Frank Gonzalez, Sean Romo, and Mark Cristino, 2 playmakers in that midfield bunch, with Gonzalez and Cristino. 26 assists between the two of those players in that Scorpions midfield. The 3 forwards consist of Jonathan Lopez, Andrew Vasquez, And the star player for this Scorpions attack, Felipe Moreno, leading the team this season with 18 goals in just 9 appearances, 2 per game for FC Scorpions number 9.
Yeah, I mean, Felipe Moreno has been great all year. Hoping to see another big performance tonight in a game where it seems to be that matters the most.
It's going to be the Playmakers wearing the yellow tops. Usually it's Scorpions at home here in Linwood wearing yellow, but instead they're in all black, going against Playmakers with the yellow and green tops. As we're underway, referee has blown his whistle. Scorpions attacking right to left, Playmakers left to right, and immediately Carranza trying to move up and press on. Interception on the far side of the field as Cristino is able to win possession, and he is fouled in the process. Scorpions ball.
Something we've seen from the Scorpions all year, be able to diffuse a lot of opportunities that come their way quickly. Playmakers had a really good possession with the ball there, but Scorpions, like they have done all season, be able to diffuse the opportunity and get it back up.
FC Scorpions, champions of the SoCal North Division. It was either them or Pasadena, and if you were tuned in for that match, it was a doozy. Ended in a 1-1 draw, and it was a match that all these players wearing black and yellow for the Scorpions remember on the season, as here they are with an attack on the right wing. As a chip into the box, here Sepoya can't get to it as it's booted out. Carranza runs it down and unable to get to it in time as it goes out. Playmaker's ball.
I mean, that was a premium chance right there for the Scorpions. The way it looks right now, as long as they keep the pressure on, they'll be able to find more opportunities like that. When the next one comes around, you got to capitalize on that.
Nice little effort on the throw-in, but Playmaker is able to retain possession before it spins out. Carranza wants to play it quick. He gets the throw-in to Gonzalez. Yellow jerseys all around him, and no nonce defense. It'll go out, but Scorpions with possession.
And you mentioned that Pasadena game, Zach, and the first thing I think of is the array of yellow cards and red cards that we saw throughout the game, just the grit from both teams. Something we might not see yellow cards and stuff tonight, but grit for sure.
Heavy throw into the center of the 6-yard box. Nearly was trouble for Playmakers, but now they have an opportunity to attack. Moving back is Blanco. He lets it go out. So Blanco, Rubio, and Ruiz, the back 3 in defense for FC Scorpions. No Novin Murillo, usually in that right center back position, but he's unavailable tonight. Poor giveaway from Carranza on the right wing. Left wing, I should say. As Playmakers retaining possession well. Nice cross into the box, but no one's on the end of it. It goes all the way to the far side, and there's a fight in the corner. Scorpions able to come away with an interception as it's pickpocketed, and the whistle's blown. Player is down on the far side of the pitch. That's a Playmakers player who is down early into this match. Still scoreless here in the SoCal Championship match between FC Scorpions and Playmakers SC. It'll be a free kick to Scorpions. They want to put some pressure on the back line for Playmakers. As that was a heavy deflection off of Carranza, and looks like there was a late change to the starting lineup, as it is Mark Sepoya up there at that front line with Martin Villalpando. Bit of a different look on that front line for the Scorpions, who, as you said, Fox, no shortage of goals for them this season. 63 through their 10 matches.
Yeah, and a very well-rounded team. Yeah, well, when you look at the stat sheet, you'll see Felipe Moreno with most of the goals, but really the love is spread throughout this team as there are multiple people that with, or multiple players with over 4 goals, and that that just speaks volumes about this offense and really how versatile they are and how anyone can hurt you at any moment.
Strong defense from Blanco, and Rubio clears the trouble away from Scorpions' goal. Mentioned that it's Nathan Rodriguez in goal for Scorpions. 3 clean sheets on the season, and he might be called into action here. Whistle's blown on the far side, and it looks like the ball must have gone out of bounds as it's a Scorpions throw. Played quickly. Here's Cristino dribbling through some yellow jerseys. Finds Gonzalez. To Rubio. Now here's Romo. Romo, a midfielder, but likes to sit deep and help out the defense as much as possible. Rubio tries to get one over the back line. Unsuccessful. And a nice job from the Scorpions back line to retain possession and get it back to Rodriguez. Villalpando picks it up but loses possession immediately. Picked up by Sepoya. When you look at the opponent on the night, Playmaker FC, they didn't really have much trouble in their respective conference and division. 27 points, the second place team, FC Rockers, with 25. They were actually the only team to defeat Playmakers FC on the season. It wasn't enough to topple them in the standings, as Playmakers unable to keep that one in bounds.
And this Scorpions team is really a great defense, and they have played really great defense all year. There's a lot of stuff that they've corrected throughout the year, but this Playmaker FC team has gone against a great defense in themselves. When you talk about the Rockers, only let up 5 goals on the year, and the Playmakers were unable to score in that game. So definitely a lot of hard experience on both sides. Both have played tough opponents, and both have the experience, and they know that going deep into this game, 1 goal could be the difference.
Whistle's blown in the middle of the pitch for a knock on a Playmaker, as they want to play quickly here. Cristino in battle and wins possession, but the pass is errant as they give it right back. Both teams scrambling to maintain possession for a substantial amount of time, as both teams just feeling each other out. Deflected off of Carranza. He retains possession, trying to play a 1-2 with Sepoya, and strong physical play from Carranza, but unable to retain possession.
Man, Carranza, so far in the first 10 minutes or so, it's like a body bag tonight. He's just taking shots from people trying to send it back up the field, but he's still putting his body out on the line. Kind of physicality you got to respect as a fan, as a coach, or as a player watching this game.
I think a lot of these Scorpions players were expecting a similar atmosphere and matchup as their duel against Pasadena Cali. That game ended in a 1-1 draw, and if you were here and tuned in, it was more of a boxing match in the second half than a soccer match.
Felt like there was a lot more conversations in the parking lot than there was on the field.
Ooh, sloppy touch at the back line, but able to hang on to it. Scorpions got away with one there. Here's Cristino on the far side. He wants to play it to Carranza. Beautiful switch up of play, but a heavy, heavy bounce. Goes out of bounds, but Carranza was there with a free runner on the left wing.
You can kind of tell that both offenses are trying to figure each other out right now. You got to respect the play there from the Scorpions. Unfortunately, it's one of those ones where you got to commit right away and just hope that's the right decision. Unfortunately, it was a little bit behind Carranza, but the way they've been letting him leak on that back line might be more plays we see going that way to Carranza tonight.
Going back to that game against Pasadena, the only result that wasn't a victory for FC Scorpions. And it really felt like not a turning point, but a moment in the season that the players kind of look on as a signifying chance for their season. Here's Cristino with a left-footed shot. It's saved near the front post as the Playmaker keeper gets in front of it. That was the best chance of the game so far. Gonzalez is able to retain possession for Scorpions, but it's given away immediately by Cervantes. Beautiful exchange of passes, but nobody on the end of it. Somebody's got to come out of their box, and it's lifted up but off target. An awkward play where the keeper, Rodriguez, had to come off of his line to get in the way of the Playmaker's attacker, and he did just enough to throw him off guard.
If you're a Scorpions fan watching that play, man, you're on the edge of your seat when you have to see your keeper run out about almost 30 yards to try and deflect the shot from coming in. But still a great hustle play on both ends of the ball from the Scorpions. Something they've done all year. Been able to just diffuse opportunities, limit the chances. It seems like we're all good to go now.
Sigh of relief for the black and yellow as both teams exchanging dangerous opportunities in each other's box, as Scorpions trying to flip the attack to the left side and do so here. Carranza cuts it in. As that one off of a yellow jersey, it's going to go out of the back, and we're going to get the first corner kick of the night on the far side of the field. So this game has opened up a bit, still scoreless here in Linwood, but both teams starting to penetrate the defense, creating some opportunities on both ends of the pitch. But it'll be Scorpions with the first corner. They take it short. Gonzalez and Cristino around it. It's Cristino with a left-footed pass to the back post over the head of Villalpando. He can't get there. Bit of a wasted opportunity for Scorpions, but they're starting to put the pressure on Playmaker's defense. Nice defense and work from Cervantes and Gonzalez, but it's one back. A beautiful dribble to get past his man, and some no-nonsense defending on the far side.
That's the kind of defending I tend to like to see. If you got a defender dribbling right in front of you and you're kind of sick at looking at it, why not just poke it out and let's just reset and keep it going?
That game against Pasadena, going back to it, that was a mentality change for these players. And we spoke with some of them before the game. Sean Romo said it taught them to be consistent, determined, and resilient to their adversity they were facing. That was really the most adversity they had faced at any point in that season. They were down a goal in a match that they felt like they should have been ahead by multiple. But at the end of the day, halfway through that second half, it was FC Scorpions trailing a goal to the toughest competition they had faced that season, and they could have just as easily folded over and lost that game 1-0, but they fought tooth and nail to claw their way back into that game and end up with a 1-1 draw, but it felt like much more than that, Fox.
No, 100%. It really speaks to the Scorpions' determination and their mentality, like you mentioned. It's one thing to go out and win quite a few games on a season, but it's those tough games that really shape you as a team and as a player and prepare you for games like this.
Heavy touch from Gonzalez, otherwise it would have set up a nice attack. This time it forces Scorpions to retreat. Try to reshape the attack, but they're going to have to wait. A poor touch on the near side from Rubio, conceding possession to Playmakers. You mentioned the defense for Scorpions. It's not just their lethal attack, only allowing 6 goals through 10 regular season matches. That one will go out on the far side.
When it comes to the defenses that the Scorpions have played throughout the year, they, like you mentioned, powerhouse offense was able to overwhelm most of the teams in the UPSL SoCal North Division, to the point where it felt like they wanted to get a lot more physical with the Scorpions. We saw a lot more fouls, not a lot of hard take fouls, but just a lot more fouls in general. But when it came to playing that Pasadena Cali team, it felt like right away is when we started to see all the action that came in and all the fouls really early, and a little bit more chatterness than we have seen then in most games.
Quick pause of play with a player down and injured on the pitch, but play should resume. Yeah, you mentioned that this offense, not just top of their division, top offense in America across Division One. No team in the entire UPSL Division One scored more goals than FC Scorpions. Mostly spearheaded by that three-headed monster of attack between the midfielders Frank Gonzalez, Mark Cristino, and Felipe Moreno. Those three players combining for 30 goals.
I mean, we just saw those guys all year. I mean, they put up great shots on net. It wasn't just the opportunities that were given to them from the defense, but, I mean, we saw some crazy goals throughout the season. A lot of slots in the top corner, especially from Frank Gonzalez. I mean, that was probably one of the most memorable goals I think I've seen in my life.
So a substitution for Playmakers after an injured player goes off. It's Bernardo Munoz off and injured, with the substitute coming on. Cristino called into action defensively and does just enough to clear it away. As Cristino now on the near side, appears as if him and Carranza have completely flipped. As another mistimed pass, it just seems like the passing just hasn't been quite clicking for either team, really, but certainly for Scorpions, they've been struggling to time their passes well together. Scramble for the ball that's won by Scorpions, and Sepoya flips the play. Here's Carranza on the right side. He's got some space to waltz into, and he tries to find Villalpando, and the deflection gives it right back to Rubio. Dangerous exchange of passes between Romo and Rubio at that back line. Some good pressure from the Playmakers' attack, not making things easy for Scorpions. And the long pass over the back of the line trying to find Cristino is unsuccessful.
On that last possession, it might be interesting to see if that becomes a narrative throughout most of the game. Playmakers FC dropped all of their players back all in almost one line to be able to stop the Scorpions right there. Hard to find a hole when you only have three attackers up front. Scorpions might have to make some more fast-paced play throughout the game.
Just over a quarter of the way through this match that will decide champions of the SoCal Division 1 and automatic promotion. As Sepoya tried to get on the end of a header, but he was in an offside position as the flag goes up. Playmakers playing it quickly here, and they've got numbers in attack. Some step overs from their left winger. Nice 1-2 pass, but too heavy from Munoz, and that one goes out the back. Got to be a Scorpions goal kick. Still scoreless between Playmakers and Scorpions. Playmakers applying some pressure here. Beautiful move to cut inside and away from a defender, but the pressure continuing to be applied. Yellow jersey swarming the area, and he goes down, but the referee sees it and he wants none of it. He says that's out of the back for another goal kick.
Officiating's been, what we'd say, pretty solid all year. There's been a lot of plays where there's been a lot of physicality, and a lot of times where they'll let things go. They can kind of tell that a player wants to sell it a little bit more. And then when it was time to, really step up and start handing out some cards, they have done a pretty good job in controlling the game. I definitely think that their biggest challenge may have been that Pasadena game, but for the most part, definitely really great officiating that we've seen throughout the year, in my opinion.
Scorpions in a good position to create an attack. Romo coming up with some urgency. Both teams have had chances to put a ball in the back of the net. It was Cristino with a left-footed shot. That was the best opportunity for Scorpions. Miscommunication there, and it's a sloppy giveaway. Whistle is blown for a collision in the middle of the pitch. Cervantes is the one who's guilty. Romo defensively able to get in the way and steal possession away. Sepoya waiting for black jerseys in assistance. Here's Gonzalez, middle of the park. He finds Cristino on the left. Takes a man on and adds a burst of speed, but strong shoulder-to-shoulder defending for Playmakers. That's Edgar Vasquez back there, called to action when his team needed it most.
No, really a great defensive play on the ball by Vasquez there. Able to stay with Cristino most of the way, and that's just the kind of opportunity you don't want them to take. You don't want them to cross it in the box or get a shot going, and that was a great play. See if the Scorpions can get something going here and put their fast pace.
Sets up another corner kick, and they take it shortly between Cristino and Gonzalez. Gonzalez's shot takes a deflection, and it'll be another corner, this time on the far side. So the third corner of the night for FC Scorpions. And we'll see if they go with their regular short corner routine between Gonzalez and Cristino, both of them spearheading the creativity of this team. Cristino with 20 assists on the year. He's averaging 2 assists per game this season. Gonzalez has 6 of them. Into the back post. Villalpando gets a head on it. There was nobody on him, but it's not on target. Romo with possession to Carranza. They switch it back to the right side. A mistimed pass from Gonzalez, and Cristino's calling for a handball, as is his teammates, but no whistle. Carranza still with the ball somehow, fighting through a swarm of yellow jerseys. Play goes on. Keeper's off his line, he comes up, and bit of a collision, but strong positioning from Rodriguez to come up with that one.
Felt like every man versus Carranza on that last possession, able to dribble through many defenders, and then he's 3 defenders just tackle him all at once. Very good effort. He's laying his body out on the line tonight. It's the championship. You might see most of these players doing so for the rest of the night.
It's another thing we talked about, how much a championship and promotion would mean, not just for this FC Scorpions team, but for the community of Linwood, as Sepoya is dispossessed in the middle of the park. A lot on the line with the results of tonight's match, as Playmakers have an opportunity here. Long left-footed shot, it's deflected, and another free shot to the back post is just wide to the left. A beautiful opportunity goes wasted for the Playmakers, as it just as easily could have been 1-0 for them. Good effort from Rodriguez to get his mitts on it, but very, very fortunate that we're still scoreless here in Linwood. What a scare for the Scorpions defense, as they now try to turn it into an attack, applying pressure onto Playmakers. Dispossessed and laid off to Gonzalez. Now here's Sepoya. Can't quite connect with Carranza. That's been the theme of the first half so far. But a poor clearance ends up in the chest of Carranza. Can he wait for his pressing teammates? Cristino gets to it, and Playmakers are in trouble, but they're able to get out of it. Rodriguez plays up the left wing, trying to find a man, but to no avail. Still scoreless between FC Scorpions and Playmakers FC here in this Division I SoCal Championship matchup. There's a long distance shot, and Rodriguez is able to get in the way of it. Playmakers not afraid to size him up from distance. We've seen a few long distance shots. Nothing has gotten past Rodriguez so far, Fox.
Nope. And Rodriguez, a man that's not talked about enough. 3 clean sheets on the year, like you mentioned earlier. He has been an absolute beast into the box for the Scorpions all year. He's done a great job against some very physical opponents. A lot of shots on net, a lot of great saves, and really just had a really nice year for himself.
Much better passing here from Scorpions, much more coordinated, with much more urgency. Gonzalez and Romo always in the heart of the midfield. So important for this Scorpions team. Those two midfielders really are the engine of this attack and defense. It's hard to describe how much they do for this team on both sides of the ball.
Especially off the field too. We saw a couple of these guys, hanging out before you got the chance to talk to them, and they all seem like they really enjoy their time around each other. And I can only imagine that with Romo and Gonzalez as the 2 captains, that they have a lot of respect for those guys on and off the field as well.
Yeah, and it was crazy talking with them because, I wasn't really aware of, how little these players have really spent with each other. Talking with Frank Gonzalez, one of the co-captains for this team, he said, we actually really haven't played a lot together coming into this season. So it was a lot of figuring it out, and to come together and have the season that they've had, he says it's felt really good. And what a better way to cap it off with a victory tonight, to end it with some hardware and promotion. He knows how much it means to this community.
100%. And when you mentioned that, figuring out how to play with each other, we saw early in the season the Scorpions had a lot of wing play, a lot of switch, where they'd send the ball across back up the field, then they would have a lot of short passing build-up, probably trying to find their biggest strengths in their offense, and it really worked for them all year.
Here's a dangerous attack on the inside, and down goes a player, and we are going to have a penalty. Dodgy defending from FC Scorpions, and it gifts a penalty to the Playmakers. Referee blew his whistle right away.
We have food vendors.
No hesitation from the referee to blow his whistle. And with just under a few minutes in the first half here, might just have the best goal scoring opportunity. It's going to be Mark Pineda for Playmakers, stepping up to take this penalty. Takes a few shuffles to his right. It's going to be a left-footed shot. He stutters, and he slots it to the right past Rodriguez. As Playmakers take the lead, it's 1-0.
Tough break for the Scorpions on that last possession. Been playing very solid defense all night, been playing very physical. Fortunately, they just caught the wrong foot on that one, and Rodriguez guessed right, but when it's a penalty, you got to guess perfect if you want to be able to save it. Unfortunately, just outside his hand. But this is where the Scorpions like to fight. They know they want to stay in this game. They know how to stay in this game. They just need to get the big play.
In the 28th minute, a penalty from Mark Pineda gives Playmakers a 1-0 lead here in the Division I SoCal Championship game. And what an important goal that could be. The intensity seems to have picked up immediately as a strong tackle from Villalpando forces it out. This isn't the first time we've seen this Scorpions team go down a goal, especially here in this building. Fox and I have been referencing that 1-1 draw against Pasadena.
We got OG Cornman and Zavala's
It was Pasadena who took the 1-0 lead in that game.
Hungry, snack hungry, anything like that.
FC Scorpions are going to have to put together some more attacks if they're going to equalize once again. As Sepoya goes to the ground, referee blows his whistle. It'll be a free kick for FC Scorpions. Just the 7th goal conceded on the season. But for Playmakers, that is goal number 48.
Scorpions are going to really have to tap into their experience here. Have only let up very few goals on the year, but they have been in close games. These are the kind of games where they got to hone in how they came back before, and they got to do it again. They just got to keep fighting, creating opportunities. One will eventually find the back of the net.
Frank Gonzalez standing over the dead ball. It's a beautiful delivery, and Villapando gets on it, but can't put it on target. Good delivery, good positioning, just couldn't quite finish. As Scorpions still searching for the equalizer. Roughly 15 minutes to go here in the first half. But a poor deflection here and creating a one-on-one opportunity. Now it's 3v3 for Playmakers, another dangerous threat towards the Scorpions' goal.
Yeah, this Playmakers team, they're doing a good job. They don't want to just score a goal and let up and, take the comfortable prevent defense kind of route. They need to keep pressure on the ball if they want to be able to stay in this game as well. They know this Scorpions team can score an equalizer at any moment, any possession, or just any turnaround.
We're going to take the time to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We got Nikki Sports, Sweet
As
Life,
Playmakers are going to have their first corner of the night.
With Jamie and Alpha Motorsports. Thank
It'll be
you
an
guys
in-swinger
for
on the
sponsoring.
near
We appreciate it
side.
very much.
Delivered and punched away from Rodriguez. And the rebound shot is errant from Rodriguez. Scorpions trying to go on a counter-attack quickly here. Here's Cristino. He finds Villapando. Flag is up on the far side. Just mistimed the run. As that's been pretty much what's been the case for Scorpions offensively tonight so far. Just unable to click and find that consistent momentum. A poor touch. We'll give the ball back to Scorpions. But the yellow jerseys pressing up and trying to suffocate the Scorpions on their own half of the field, which is something we usually see the Scorpions do. But the Playmakers, credit to them, they're proving their worth to their team name. They're making plays and they're forcing the hand of FC Scorpions, and they haven't really had an answer.
No, not so far. And we had a couple good runs on that last possession, but unfortunately pass came just a second too late. These are the kind of runs that the Scorpions like to make, and they have been executing all year, but when you go against another tough team, it's not always as easy.
If you're just joining us, it's Playmakers on top 1-0, courtesy of a penalty kick that came in the 28th minute off the right foot of Mark Pineda. Still plenty left to play here in Linwood. Scorpions looking for an equalizer. Carranza to Cristino. He cuts it in, and his left-footed pass finds Villapando in the center of the box. Can he find Carranza? Yes, he can, but the touch takes it away. Deflection. Referee doesn't want to blow his whistle. Looked like a heavy, heavy collision. But it's not enough for the foul on the edge of the box. And a giveaway in the middle of the field. Playmakers have space. Here comes Velasquez driving down the right wing. And he has some support. Rodriguez back to Vasquez. And Playmakers want to slow it down. A misplayed pass on the far side. You can see what they want to do. They're trying to stretch out the defense of Scorpions by going wide, and it's worked really well. We've seen all of the attacks, all of the best threatening attacks, I should say, from Playmakers have come along the wings and just going after that back three. Long ball over the top to no success, as no one's able to get on the end of it. Keeper will pick it up. That's Swarty back there. Gonzalez gets a foot on it, and it lands right into the lap of Sepoya. His right-footed shot is deflected, but it falls into the lap of Carranza. He takes a left-footed shot from distance, another block, and this one will go out.
There'll be some points in time in a game where you try to get things going, you try to get crossed into the box, and the defense just does a very good job of getting everything out or diffusing all your opportunities. Seems like the FC Scorpions are starting to realize that, and they want to see if they can maybe get a poacher's goal. Maybe just get some shots on the net. Maybe it can create some more opportunities because they are unable to do so on a through ball so far.
Beautiful ball, trying to find Carranza on the far side, and he's able to get a foot to it and put it in a dangerous area, but nobody's home. Sepoya, the nearest player, but he was on the edge of the 6-yard box rather than the front of it. Scorpions doing a good job of applying pressure when they have the ball deep into Playmaker territory. But here we have the inverse with a nice interception, deflection I should say, from Ruiz.
Kind of still feels like this Scorpions attack maybe wants to kind of figure out the Playmakers defense a little bit more. They understand that they've had a couple opportunities on the wings, but haven't had the greatest execution inside the boxes. The Playmakers team does a very good job of crashing. So it'll be tough to tell what the Scorpions are going to need to do from this point out.
Nice bit of skill to turn around the defender, but an even better display of power defensively. But the pass and clearance is poor. Ruiz once again with a strong presence. He's able to win the ball back, and some grabbing and clawing. Referee blows the whistle. Carranza wants to switch up play, looking for Cristino. He's able to keep it in somehow. Villalpando gives it right back. Cristino trying to turn around his man, puts the ball in the center of the box for Villalpando. It falls right back to him, and there's a fight for it. And a collision between Villalpando. Oh, and that's going to be a yellow card to the Scorpions forward. He got involved with Gianluca Swarty, the keeper for Playmakers, and one of their defenders, and he gets booked for it.
That was a great play on the ball by Villalpando there. I mean, it was just a lot of physical play. He just wanted to get in there and create an opportunity. Unfortunately, just a little too physical for the referee's liking. But you got to appreciate the Scorpions here and fighting for the ball. I mean, that was a great possession that we just saw on the left side of the box. A lot of great short passing, a lot of great dribble moves. But there's just so many bodies in the box for the Playmakers. It's hard to get a shot up. It's hard to create an opportunity. Hopefully, with the amount of pressure that they've been taking, they get one little window that slips through. One little window can just be it for the Scorpions team, as they have a great leg talent on most of their top three in their goal scorers.
A bit of a delayed stoppage of play on the edge of the box. Not sure who it is that's down in front of the Playmakers' goal, but referee standing over, and the bench for Playmakers getting very active over there. We'll see if a substitution is made. It looks like there might be some movement for Scorpions as well. Looks like Villalpando is going to be coming off after being carded. So his match is done, doesn't complete the first half. He is replaced. As the new player coming on to the pitch is Mario Carlos. So play is set to resume here after the injured Playmaker player. They still lead 1-0 after the opening goal from the penalty spot in the 28th minute. Less than 10 to go in the half, including stoppage time. Heavy tackle on the near side from Rubio. No nonsense defending there. Setting the standard of physicality. As Scorpions trying to do anything to build some momentum that it seems like the Playmakers have built up and are maintaining.
You know, the Playmakers have been running around crazy for the ball all night. They've had a lot of great pace, a lot of great pressure on the Scorpions. And the Scorpions are doing their best to be able to battle back and create some opportunities. Ooh.
Cristino gets it to Sepoya, but his layoff was unsuccessful. Carranza finds Gonzalez in the middle of the pitch. Now he's got Cristino to the left. Plenty of space for him to operate. He cuts inside, cuts it right back. No support from him. It was one Scorpion versus 3 yellow jerseys. It will be Scorpion's ball via the throw-in.
That's something the Playmaker FC has done really well tonight. They've been crashing the ball really well on the Scorpions.
And the header into no man's land, unsuccessful. Got to give credit to Gianluca Sforti, the keeper for Playmakers. He's had a very strong commanding presence in that box. Good defending on the far side. Even better dribbling from Carranza. Here's Gonzalez, able to hold it up. Oh, that was going to be close, and a collision with the keeper. He came in heavy. William Munoz making a contact with Rodriguez. I don't believe we're going to see a card. Some of the fans here aren't happy with it. It was a collision directly with Rodriguez after he had cleared the ball out. Could have been called, but perhaps Munoz was apologetic enough to avoid being carded tonight. Here's space down the left wing, and it's deflected, but it goes off of a yellow jersey, so it's going to be, no, it is going to be a goal kick. I thought maybe the deflection came off of a yellow jersey, but the referee immediately comes in and says goal kick. Probably could have been worth taking a closer look at. Regardless, it's Playmaker ball.
That was Mario Carlos on that last possession. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays a role here tonight. Unfortunately, with the yellow card, and we had the Scorpions ending up having to substitute somebody on. Could be interesting to see how he does with some fresh legs, be able to create some new opportunities, hopefully.
Well, it's been a quarter of an hour since the Playmakers took a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Pineda from the penalty spot. Since then, they haven't quite been able to hold on to the game as well, as Scorpions have had the better possession and a handful more opportunities. They just can't put it in the back of the net. Just trying to find that one magic moment that can equalize. Cervantes is dispossessed. And Carranza able to stick a foot in there. Scorpions in possession once again. Here's the throw.
starting to see the physicality. I mean, you're starting to see the heat pick up on this match. It's been a lot of contact on the last few plays. Maybe a little bit of chattering. I mean, these are the kind of intense moments that happens in a championship game.
Gonzalez able to get ahead on it. Clearance falls right to Rubio. Cristino looking for an option. He gets it to Gonzalez. Now to Cervantes. Beautiful dribble, gets past the man. Gonzalez in space, flips it into the box, and a good spot, but strong defense at that back line. Rubio's pass goes to nobody, but it's won back immediately by Gonzalez. And here comes a counterattack from Playmakers. A beautiful display of skill from Rodriguez. He's able to find Velasquez on the right wing. Cross is sniffed out. And a no-nonsense clearance from William Blanco. And here comes a counterattack. Here's Carranza. Plays it to the right. Right-footed shot, sails over the crossbar. Might have been wide right. But it was a good opportunity with Scorpions attacking from the angle. As we have reached the end of regulation for the first 45. We'll see when the ref wants to blow his whistle after we had a couple injuries and, of course, the penalty that gave the Playmakers the lead. But play continues on for now. Still 45 to go in the second half, but be interesting to know what the conversation's like between Brent Whitfield and his squad at halftime, trying to get them right and back into this match. All it takes is one goal. It's just a matter of how you can change your game plan and tactics to try to manufacture that goal, given how well Playmakers have been playing tonight. There's a reason they are champions of the SoCal South. A push from the back, and that'll be a Scorpions free kick.
Yeah, Coach Brent Whitfield will have definitely a big opportunity to talk to his team here, talk about game plan. It's always so hard for these soccer coaches in the middle of a game, especially with everything that's going on, like the back and forth we've seen today, to be able to talk game plan, talk about strategy, how to infiltrate this Playmaker FC defense.
Ooh, scary play out the back here. Scorpions do not look comfortable trying to close out this first half, and they give a free corner to Playmakers.
You don't want to say survive mode, but right now the important thing is not letting up another goal before the half. Got to keep the deficit to 1-0. The Scorpions have a lot of fight in them. They can find ways to score in any kind of setting. They just need to make sure that they limit the opportunities right now.
Here's the cross from the corner to the back post, and some collision. We'll see if Scorpions can muster up an attack at the death of this first half. Romo to Sepoya, running out of time here in this first half. A swarm of yellow jerseys around him. He's got nowhere to go, but he's tripped up. Perhaps one last set piece, but Romo wants to play it quick, looking for Carranza, and he's just short.
If you guys want Scorpion merch, we got it on sale right now in the front, by the front. If you guys want Scorpion merch, it's on sale right now in the front.
Might be the last attack of this half. Here's Romo trying to find Cristino. Can he keep it in at the back post? No. Far side referee has his flag up as that one just went beyond the touchline. And the head referee blows his whistle. That'll do it for the first half. Playmakers 1, FC Scorpions 0. It was a 28th minute penalty kick That gave Playmakers the lead from Mark Pineda after a lethal attack on the far side of the field coming from the left wing.
Every game, every fight, every moment. At Sports Pulse Digital, we capture the action and turn it into stories that last. From live streams that bring the crowd home, to media days that spotlight athletes, to action photography and mic'd up videos that keep fans engaged. We do it all. Because every athlete deserves to be seen. Sports Pulse Digital. Your game, your story, your moment. Visit sportspulsedigital.com to learn more.
Hello and welcome back into Linwood High School in Linwood, California for the second half of the UPSL Division I SoCal Championship. It's Playmakers SC on top of FC Scorpions 1-0, courtesy of a first half penalty. That's the difference between these two teams so far, but plenty to play for the final 45. As the two teams have flipped sides, Scorpions attacking left to right now and trying to find an equalizer sooner than later. Both teams winners of their respective conferences. Scorpions of the SoCal North, Playmakers of the SoCal South. Winner secures the SoCal Championship and automatic promotion. Here's a dangerous ball into the back post. Unable to get to it is Rubio, and Rodriguez comes off his line. Gets not one, not two, but a third save, and that one is into the back of the net. It's 2-0 Playmakers. Sloppy at the back for Scorpions defense. Rodriguez got in front of it 2 or 3 times before it eventually goes to the top and back of the net. And it was a 1-goal advantage. It's now doubled for Playmakers almost immediately into this second half. And now Scorpions have an even higher mountain to climb.
I mean, the Playmakers did everything they needed to do there. Just apply the pressure right off the half. The Scorpions did their best they could to fight, especially Nathan Rodriguez with those back-to-back saves. Unfortunately, just couldn't be able to keep the ball in his hands, and it deflects right out for an easy goal for the Playmakers. And they're bringing the pressure again. The Scorpions need to find a way to turn this thing around.
Almost immediately stealing the ball back is the Playmakers, as they have come out to play with intensity to kick off this second half, already doubling their lead. And it was a well-orchestrated goal, a beautiful cross into the center of the box. Scorpions aren't ready to give up yet. Here's a nice through ball, trying to get it to Cristino, and heads up defending on the far side. So 2-0 Playmakers. FC Scorpions facing their largest deficit on the season. They trailed 1-0 to Pasadena in match day 7 of the season, as Carranza unable to corral it.
I mean, this Playmakers team all night has been pressing the ball very well. Scorpions have had a tough go at getting anything going. They've been playing as physical as they possibly could, but it just seems the speed and the overall crashing on the ball is what has separated the Playmakers from the Scorpions so far tonight, as we have a man down.
It's the scorer of the opening goal from the penalty spot, Mark Pineda, who's down, but he's on his feet now. It'll be a dead ball set piece for Playmakers, trying to put it into a dangerous area, and that's exactly where it goes. On the edge of the box, fighting for possession, and an errant shot goes through the back. It'll be a Scorpions goal kick. Rodriguez instructing his Scorpions to move higher up the pitch. They're in need of not one, but 2 goals to equalize now. They got to start with 1. Here's Sepoya to Cervantes. Trying to find Carranza, but strong defense from Playmakers. It just seems like no matter where Scorpions want to go with the ball on any part of the pitch, there is 3 or 4 yellow jerseys just suffocating the possession.
It's been tough to deal with for the Scorpions all night. And, I mean, you got to look at it and give credit to this Playmakers defense, this Playmakers midfield, and how they've transitioned to be able to put themselves in those spots, to be able to diffuse all the Scorpions' opportunities that they've had so far.
Scramble for the ball on the far side. Playmakers want a foul. Heavy and late tackle, but not much of a collision. That one's deflected off of a yellow jersey as Cristino prepares to toss it in. Scorpions trying to muster up some momentum offensively. They've had trouble connecting multiple strings of passes and maintain possession for a long spell of time. Give credit to this Playmakers defense. And a collision right in front of us here. Referee coming over to have a word, but it's a Playmaker player down on the ground. Looks like a booking is coming. Don't know if it's for simulation or the buildup of it, but referee waiting for the player to get up to give him the card.
I'm a little anxious. I'm seeing different colors changing in the cards. I think he's just shuffling through them to get the right one. Maybe it seems to only be a yellow. The last thing the Scorpions need here is a man down. They need to be playing with a sense of urgency.
It is a yellow, but it's shown to a yellow jersey. William Munoz is guilty of a foul. Striker or forward for Playmakers. Play resumes. Scorpions looking for the first. Down by 2. That's a handball. You could see that from a mile away, and it's going to be a penalty. Right on the edge of the box. That might be just exactly what FC Scorpions needed. A cross into the center clips the extended arm of a Playmakers defender, and it's going to give Scorpions an opportunity to cut into their deficit. Frank Gonzalez, the co-captain, stands over the penalty spot. The same spot that Pineda for Playmakers scored their first goal back in the 28th minute. Frank Gonzalez has played all 10 matches coming into this game for FC Scorpions, his 11th start of the season. And it's a beautiful stretch save from the keeper. Scramble for the deflection, and Scorpions can't get there. What a diving save from Gianluca Suardi. Gonzalez tried to go to his left. Suardi moving to his right, gets in the way of the penalty shot, and FC Scorpions thought they had a godsend of an opportunity to get themselves back into this match, but Gianluca Suardi denies them.
I mean, we mentioned it earlier. Not only do you have to guess right, but you have to guess perfectly if you want to be able to save a PK, and Gianluca Suardi did that right there. Not only did he guess right, he was in the exact spot where Frank Gonzalez shot it. And if I'm a Scorpions fan, Scorpions player, there's no other person I want taking that shot. It really is just a fabulous save. And unfortunately, that was the best opportunity the Scorpions have had to get back into this game.
Scorpions have an opportunity here with the 3v3. Yellow jerseys joining in defense, not enough in support for Scorpions as The play goes wide. It's not able to keep it in bounds. A wasted possession. And it's given to the Playmakers. How drastically that changes things here in this second half, as we were so close to getting back to a 1-goal game. Gonzalez's penalty kick is saved, and it remains a 2-goal advantage, a 2-0 lead for Playmakers SC here in this championship game. Could be the difference between promotion and a championship, or nothing, as here's Playmakers with an opportunity on the far side. Rodriguez gets a couple of hands on it, but can't corral it cleanly. Takes a second effort to jump on top of it. We're nearing desperation time on the horizon, as there was a simulated collision there between Gonzalez and one of the Playmakers. Don't think the collision warranted that much of a response, but you can see the ref just telling Gonzalez to back up and out of the way. Doesn't look like we're going to see a booking here.
I feel like someone on the field should let him know that the foul was called, and if he is all right.
I didn't fully see it. Now there's some jostling around amongst the yellow jerseys. I wonder what is being said over there.
It seemed like he pulled his face mask the way he turned around and spun. Maybe he caught him in the face. Maybe there could be a scratch, maybe some sort of blood. Never know.
Looks like a member of the medical staff has come in to check him out. But I want to go back to that penalty kick save from Swarty, because that really is the most important moment of this match so far. Looked like FC Scorpions had a chance to cut the deficit in half after a handball inside the 18-yard box gave them an opportunity, but Frank Gonzalez stepped up and was unable to put it past the keeper. He went to his left, and seems like Swarty had him read all the way. Would have been Gonzalez's 9th goal of the year. Instead, Scorpions still scoreless, searching for 2.
Definitely one of the hardest things to do in all of soccer. I mean, when you think about a penalty, you watch any game ever, you're just assuming that it's probably going to go in unless somehow the striker gets under it a little bit, or, you know, they try to be cheeky with it and the keeper's ready. But not only do you have to predict, you have to be in the right spot at the right time. And man, that was a great save. Something you don't see all the time. It looks like we're going to resume here.
And interestingly, that is the player who came on as a substitute for the injured Bernardo Munoz. And now a yellow is coming out to Frank Gonzalez, and they're actually both being shown with a yellow. So after a short delay of play, it should resume here momentarily. And it looks like we might have a substitute coming on for FC Scorpions. Felipe Moreno getting loose. We thought he was going to be in the starting lineup, but looks like he was a last-second scratch. We had him in our starting lineup, but he's over there getting loose next to the FC Scorpions bench. Leading goal scorer for FC Scorpions this season with 18 in 9 matches. Here's space for Mario Carlos to navigate into. He's waiting for help, trying to cut it back towards the top of the 18-yard box, and is unsuccessful. Smart defense from Playmakers. Here's Cervantes to Carranza. Carranza needs help. He's running out of space and room. Just runs right into a yellow player. Whistle is blown. Your side defender curious of what he was guilty of, but it creates a set-piece opportunity. Frank Gonzalez will stand over it.
Going back to the yellow card, it's definitely got to be an interesting feeling leaving the pitch for an injury, and you're handed a yellow card while you're walking off.
The delivery from Gonzalez towards the back post. An extended leap from, I believe that was Blanco, unable to put it on target. Swarty taking his time to retrieve a new ball as they can start thinking about killing some clock. Quarter of an hour through into this second half, an hour into the match, and it's still 2-0 Playmakers over Scorpions. Substitution is made. And we're going to have subs for both teams, actually. It's the opening goal scorer, Pineda, coming off for a forward. And Moreno's going to have to wait till the next dead ball to enter this championship match. But Scorpions preparing for their second substitution of the night. Chase down to the back post as the Playmakers forward able to win the race, but a poor shot, doesn't get any power on it, and it rolls right into the lap of Rodriguez.
Scorpions lucky enough that the Playmakers forward right there made the wrong decision. He did have guys crash in the box. Sometimes the extra pass is better than your own shot. Got to get lucky there. Scorpions have to be able to turn this around and turn it around on counterattacks. Because unfortunately, if they let the Playmakers get back on the line, it has been very hard to score, and we found that out all night.
No substitution for Moreno yet, but he's standing over there ready to come in. Into the box, a great delivery, and it's forces Rodriguez to come out into duty, gets his hands on it, although I don't think it was on target. Regardless, it was a good effort off the dead ball from about midfield for Playmakers. Romo resets, looking for an option. He finds Carranza, but a heavy touch lifts it up. Tripped up is Carranza, and he wins a free kick. Gonzalez wants to play it quickly, but he's going to have to wait. Referee having a word with him and the nearby Playmaker in Gustavo Mejia.
Seems like all is to be settled now. I just think they were a little too close to the ball and stalling a little bit of time. And like you mentioned, Frank Gonzalez wanted to go right away.
And there is the substitution. Felipe Moreno, the leading goal scorer for FC Scorpions, comes on into the second half. He replaces Halmar Carranza. Frank Gonzalez delivers the dead ball. Back post and unable to get on the end of it was Cervantes. Scorpions still searching for their opener and a goal that would cut the deficit in half. It's 2-0 Playmakers here in the SoCal Division I Championship game of the UPSL. Here's Moreno with his first touch. Tries to lay in a pass, overcooks it. Whistle is blown. A collision with Sergio Rodriguez of Playmakers.
It's going to get to a point where you want to keep the pressure on and limit these opportunities. You want to feel like the Scorpions want to hold on to most of the control for this half. The more time they have with the ball, it has always been known to the more dangerous the Scorpions offense can be.
Carlos is tripped up as Scorpions with another dead ball. Seen a lot of fouls in this game, whether or not the cards have come out or not. Just a lot of heavy collisions and trips and bumps and bruises. That's the sacrifice of a champion. Somebody's going to be crowned as a champion tonight, and right now it's looking like Playmakers SC at their 2-goal advantage.
I think what it's been more of is just everyone putting their body on the lines, everyone playing physical. They're racing to get to each ball. They're not deliberately going into somebody and trying to hurt them. They're just deliberately going in, trying to make a play on the ball, make a difference in this game for each team. It's just the competitiveness, the physicality that one fan will appreciate just watching this game. But it is possibly the reason why we have seen a couple cards, but it'll never amount to the amount of cards that we saw handed out in the proximity of about 5 to 10 minutes against Pasadena.
Another injured player down. This time it's a Scorpion on the far side. Looks like he's in some pain over there. Not sure who it is. Regardless, it's getting from bad to worse for the Linwood faithful here. As a substitution's going to be made, it looks like Marcos Velasco is getting ready to sub on when he has the chance. Playmakers trying to facilitate through the middle of the pitch, but Scorpions making it difficult. But the second half really has been defined by that penalty save from Gianluca Swarty, keeping Frank Gonzalez and FC Scorpions off the board.
It really does feel a little bit of the wind of the sails of the Scorpions was taken out during that save.
And now Cristino is down and injured on the near side. Shot attempt, and it's a rocket into the goal. A screaming shot from Mikey Velasquez. And it's a hat trick of goals for the Playmakers. They lead 3-0 here in the championship match. And they're celebrating like it.
I mean, yeah, we talk about the ball that was sent over to the right side of the field and just a beautiful finish just outside the outstretched hands of Nate Rodriguez. Man, you can't get much of a better shot than that. Slotted on the left side of the post. It's just a tough break for the Scorpions overall.
It all started on the near side right in front of us when Cristino was dispossessed. He stayed on the ground, play continued, and it turns into a Playmaker's goal courtesy of Velasquez with an absolute screamer. There was not much that Nathan Rodriguez could have done to get in the way of that rocket, but it puts the Playmakers up by 3 as it just becomes a taller mountain to climb for the champions of the SoCal North Division in FC Scorpions. They got the bye to the championship. They were awaiting the winner of Gauchos Intercontinental and Playmaker FC in that semifinal matchup. And another player is injured. As this second half, that's been the theme for both sides. This one looking like a cramp.
Yeah, kind of interesting looking at that cramp. It seems like when the ball is being set up, they just collapse to the ground. Cramp can really hit you at any moment, especially in a big game like this.
It's the goal scorer, Mikey Velasquez, who is going to be subbed off after putting his team up 3-0. He is replaced. A substitute for FC Scorpions as well, as Samuel Nygren comes on in defense. Goes to that right center back position. Rodriguez was looking for Cristino on the long layoff, but unable to get it to him. This defense for Playmakers just seemed like they've been watching so much film and tape on what Scorpions do well, and that's force the ball into the middle parts of the field and make 1-2 passes, but the passing just hasn't been there tonight.
No, it really hasn't. There's been a lot of limited opportunities. The Scorpions throughout the entire season were very versatile in their attack. And tonight we just didn't get to see the best version of their attack, which has led to the deficit that they are in now.
Still about 20 or so minutes to go in this half, but if FC Scorpions want to have a say in it, they're going to have to put one in the back of the net sooner than later as they trail by 3. Felipe Moreno, the leading goal scorer, was subbed on after not getting the start. He leads this team with 18 goals. Frank Gonzalez right behind him with 8. Would have been 9 if he could have converted on his penalty, but it was a heck of a save from Gianluca Suardi to keep Scorpions out, keep them goalless, and they added on a third shortly after. Dangerous area to be playing from the back. Velasco is tripped up.
You definitely want to see a sense of urgency here on these next couple set pieces. The Scorpions will have more opportunities to score. They're not the kind of team to just go out. But a sense of urgency and getting one in the back of the net soon, like you mentioned, Zach, is what it's definitely going to have to take to be able to claw back into this game.
Scorpions at this point fighting for pride as some beautiful dribbling on the far side from the Playmakers forward. They really are putting some value into the name of their team. They have been making plays all night long, whether it be on defense or in the middle of the pitch trying to retain possession or converting on opportunities. They certainly aren't going to settle for second best tonight.
No, certainly not. And one thing that's impressed me the most is the amount of times we've seen a guy sprint across the field for the ball.
And it's a fourth. Couldn't quite tell. It was such a rocket of a shot. It went through the net. No, it is a goal kick. Lots of confusion here. Playmakers thought they had scored a goal. But it remains 3-0. A bizarre sequence of events. It was a beautiful chip into the back. Not sure how that one was called a goal. It went through the back of the goal because it just squeaked through the corner. Not sure what happened there. Regardless, it's still 3 for Playmakers, and they have a set piece here on the far side. The in-swinging ball towards the back post is punched out off the head of Nygren, and Scorpions unable to corral the rebound. They've got a throw in here. Trying to find Moreno. Gonzalez unable to get on the end of it. And a mistimed layoff. Trying to get it to Andrew Vasquez. Just miscommunicated with Moreno. And it ends up in the hands of Gianluca Suardi.
So we actually just missed on quite what would have been an improbable goal as the Playmakers attacker fell to the ground and the back of his boot rocketed the ball into the side of the net. But in order to get to that position, they did accidentally trip up one of the Scorpions defenders. So it was called a foul right before the shot. But what would have been an absolutely improbable goal to make it 4-0, the Scorpions can now breathe a little bit and hopefully create an opportunity for them to be able to score.
Yeah, give credit to the Playmakers. They came in with a plan of attack, and they've certainly converted on it tonight. But Scorpions not ready to give up yet, as one of the newer signings, Mario Carlos, trying to track down that ball on the left wing. He had a couple of yellow jerseys around him. Scorpions still in possession, just searching for the first. If you can get one, maybe you can get two, and if you can get two, maybe a third is waiting for you, but Got to start somewhere. Heavy collision. That's going to be a card as the referee shows it to Blanco. No hesitation there.
You know, it was tough. The ball just snuck past him. He really didn't mean to hit him there, but Scorpions got a lot of big physical guys. You run into one of them, you might end up tripping up yourself. Totally understandable. Definitely the right decision by the referee there.
Playmakers having no issue with taking their time getting back to their feet after any stoppage of play. With a 3-goal advantage, they can smell the final whistle.
Got to give a lot of credit to the Scorpions for at least battling their way through this game physically and mentally. I mean, this was a very tough physical game, a lot of collisions. I mean, we remember Carranza was taking the ball, took about 3 set pieces or just, 3 crosses right to the chest or the upper part of his body. And, he was able to stay in the game, and keep fighting. And we saw a lot of Scorpions players dribbling through at what it felt like maybe 4 defenders at a time, just staying with it and staying on the ball.
Moreno tried to square a pass down the left wing, but it was picked out by the Playmaker midfield. Good backtracking in defense from Cervantes. He wins it back. Neither team wants to retain possession for any longer than a few seconds or so. They're just exchanging possessions in the middle of the park. Push in the back from Moreno. Not a whole lot of contact, but the ref was right on top of it.
Yeah, definitely right in the ref's eyesight. There was a little bit of a push there. Definitely wants to keep the game a little bit civil, especially with it winding down. Doesn't want it to get too out of hand, especially with the Scorpions wanting to at least notch 1 goal here.
15 minutes of regulation remain here in Linwood. Playmakers 3, FC Scorpions 0. They trailed by 1 after the first 45. It was a first half penalty converted by Playmakers that gave them the lead at the half. Less than 5 minutes into the second half, they doubled that lead with a nice screamer of a shot, and then that's when things changed. It was a penalty awarded to FC Scorpions that Frank Gonzalez stepped up to with a chance to cut the 2-goal deficit in half, but a beautiful diving save from the Playmakers keeper to deny the goal for Gonzalez and Scorpions. But here's a deflection here. Cristino's got an opportunity to put a shot on goal, and Moreno misses the tap in. It was a gift of a goal for Scorpions. Cristino danced around a couple yellow jerseys, and the keeper lays it up to Moreno and unable to put it on target. It's just been one of those nights for FC Scorpions. Just haven't been able to finish. Make that final pass, that final touch, that final shot on target has just been non-existent for FC Scorpions tonight.
This is just the element of the game. I mean, anything can happen. We've seen Moreno put many of those goals in this year. He always positions himself very well. He's very smart with the ball. He's very smart at reading the back end of defenses. Just a little uncharacteristic of him. A little bit uncharacteristic of this Scorpions offense tonight, as we've seen many times that they're usually the one that controls the possession, but this is a different opponent. This is a different setting, and anything can happen when you got 2 powerhouses going at each other like this.
There's Gonzalez with an opportunity to create some pressure, but he's dispossessed. The ball will stay with Scorpions in the corner. We've seen Frank Gonzalez score some wonder goals from this part of the field. Tonight it just seems like the entire team has been lacking that finish. Nice strong defense from the back line of Playmakers. solid back four all night long. To the midfield, helping out when they're needed.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Zach, just having trouble to find the back of the net there, and that's the thing that championship games do to you.
A wonder save from the keeper. Scorpions not giving up yet. Another diving save, this time to his left. Well, if there's a player of the game for Playmakers FC, it is certainly Gianluca Swarty, the way he's flying around the box, keeping Scorpions out of the back of the net. A flying double save, one to the right, one to the left for Swarty. As Playmakers doing everything right tonight. Another chance for Cristino dancing on the right wing. Can he dribble past a man? No, a strong tackle forces it out into the corner. What a display of effort from Gianluca Swarty all night long, but particularly in this second half. Denies Gonzalez from the penalty spot, and a double save here late in the second half. Nice speed here from Mario Carlos on the left wing, but it's blocked out.
I mean, you mentioned it. Those were two amazing saves and just really an A-plus performance by the keeper tonight. I mean, when your keeper makes saves like that, when the other team has opportunities, it really does diminish what they have going on their attack and really the momentum. And it shifts the momentum back to your side when you can make game-changing saves like that.
Lots of space in the middle of the pitch for Playmakers. They're able to keep it in. A Travella pass in a perfect spot, but well defended by Ruiz. What a beautiful pass from Sergio Rodriguez. Nearly set up another goal-scoring opportunity.
Great pass indeed. Maybe if we had a little bit more speed from the attacker up front, that would have been able to execute a goal there, but fortunately for the Scorpions, they're still battling.
Scorpions with a attack here. Moreno sizes it up, and it's right at the keeper. Strong hands from Swarty. Another save for him on the night. Moreno tried to size him up from distance, about 20 yards out, but well read from the Playmaker keeper.
Usually when you look at a player of the game performance, you might look for a striker. You might look for maybe a winger that had a couple assists and along with the goal. But when you have a team like the Scorpions that put up 63 goals on the year and your keeper is able to save a PK, have multiple saves from ones like Moreno or anyone inside the box like Gonzalez, that's the kind of performance that a lot of people will highlight, especially with the powerhouse offense that the Scorpions have been all year.
Nice tackle from Ruiz on the far side, but it wasn't in time as it just trickled out of bounds. It's going to be a corner. It's just been one of those nights for FC Scorpions all season long. They've been able to use their offense, their attack, as a true piece of their identity of what they want to do as a team and how Brent Whitfield, the head coach, wants to establish into this culture of goal-scoring capabilities. Another opportunity for Playmakers, this time unsuccessful. 63 goals on the season for FC Scorpions. But here in this championship game, when they need it most, unable to get past Gianluca Swarty and his team of Playmakers. Under 10 minutes to go here, including stoppage time. As Playmakers with a nice switch up of play and build up all the way to the right side. Here's a shot from distance, takes a skip, but dealt with finely from Rodriguez. But a poor throw gives it away. And they tried to pick him out from distance and nearly caught Rodriguez off of his line. That was dangerous. And it's another poor giveaway. He's intercepted once again. Nearly tapped in right in front of Rodriguez. He is desperate back there, needing some help from his Scorpions defenders. Beautiful turn. And the shot is blocked at the front post, but Playmakers are not gonna settle with 3. They're asking for more. Just a dominant display here in this second half from the Playmakers, well on their way to a championship.
No, 100%. They're not letting up. They do want more. They want more players to get involved. But if you're the Scorpions here, you got to soften the wound and just limit the damage. Give Rodriguez some help back there. Send the ball back upfield. Maybe you can swing one of your own and have some fun with it.
A deflected shot at the front once again, and here comes Velasquez to Gonzalez. And here comes an opportunity for Scorpions on the left side. Tried to cut it inside with his left, but it's blocked by the Playmakers defense. How many times have I said that tonight? Cristino cuts it back. He takes a right-footed shot, and that one gets past. And some collision being had here in between the goal. Some scuffling around. It was a goal scored for FC Scorpions. I don't think anyone realizes it. It's now 3-1. There's some bit of life for FC Scorpions, but some extracurricular activities after the goal was scored between Gianluca Swarty. But we've got a game here. It's not done yet. That deficit is now 2 for FC Scorpions. About 5 minutes left in regulation. But the Playmakers won another. Here's a great shot with the left foot one time. Rodriguez gets in front of it. The crowd here in Linwood feel alive now. FC Scorpions feeling desperate here, trying to switch up the play to Cristino. Unsuccessful. Play is stretched out now. A beautiful through ball, trying to get past the back line. Rodriguez comes up and corrals it. A poor deflection, an opportunity for Scorpions. Cristino almost gets to it. Strong grip from Swarty, who gets onto the end of it. But another chance for Scorpions, courtesy of Mario Carlos. He's created a couple of opportunities on that left wing, trying to squeeze it into the middle of the pitch, just asking for another Scorpions attacker to get on the end of it.
This is the kind of play that Scorpions fans have been looking for all night. I mean, just the fast-paced, creating opportunities, the shots from outside the box, finding the holes. This is the kind of thing that the Scorpions have been missing all night. Unfortunately, it has to come late. You got to give credit to this Playmakers defense for how they have held the Scorpions to limit these opportunities in what would be the second half, where it felt like the Scorpions have had almost infinite opportunities to be able to claw back in this game, but unfortunately, possibly a little too late. But you got to appreciate how they finished this game and the nonstop fight, the nonstop grit from the Scorpions players.
2 minutes and change of regulation. A 2-goal deficit for FC Scorpions. As it stands, Playmaker SC will be the champions of the Southern California division, or conference, I should say, of the UPSL Division 1. And if that's the case, then promotion for them would be secured. They're not wanting to give up yet. They have the 2-goal advantage, but they're asking for more. dispossessed on the near side, but the whistle is blown, and Playmaker players have no problem embellishing this time and letting that clock tick.
Definitely going to want to find ways to stall a little bit of time, get this game out. They definitely do not like how the Scorpions have been playing since the start of the second half, and really within the last 10 minutes, putting a lot of pressure on them. So hopefully looking to stall this game out is definitely going to be the Playmakers.
Short set piece routine, as it looks like they just want to see this one out. A beautiful deflection saves a goal, as that would have been a fourth. Scramble for possession here. It's in the lap of Rodriguez. Less than a minute to go of regulation. Can Scorpions get something at the death of it and make extra time interesting? Oh, and the right-footed shot just slides to the right of the post. It took a deflection, so it's going to be a Scorpions corner, but what an opportunity that was. If that one went into the back of the net, I think these bleachers here in Linwood would have exploded. Certainly would have set up a magical finish in extra time, or stoppage time, I should say. Cristino puts it into the box. Can somebody get on the end of it? It's retained. Velasco puts it in, deflected out. The overhead, corralled by Swarty, and he will sit on it.
When the Scorpions were charging up the field, it looks like the referee signaled to the benches 4. So that was about a couple minutes ago. The Scorpions could have a couple more minutes to be able to notch a second goal here if they keep the pace up.
They're going to have to get one quickly, trailing by 2. It would be a miracle if they can force extra time here. Headed away by Swarty, and Cristino unable to get in the way of that clearance. Clock is ticking. Fans are getting tense here. We're seconds away from crowning a champion. Scorpions desperately need an answer just to put themselves in a position to equalize. Nice touch from Cristino, but Scorpions unable to retain. Black jerseys are way up the pitch. And scramble at the top of the box, but once again, it's in the hands of Gianluca Swarty, who just might be tonight's player of the match. Velasco unable to win that 50-50 ball. Playmakers on the left wing, gliding through space with ease, but finally dispossessed. Here's Gonzalez with an opportunity to turn defense into offense. Cristino trying to run it down. There's some pushing and shoving going on. That's going to be called almost immediately. Very unnecessary defending. Didn't even try to play the ball. The Playmaker fans want them to blow the whistle and call this a game. Scorpions fans wanting any bit of time added on to this one, and certainly some will be after that scuffle. We're certainly going to have one more opportunity for Scorpions to put one in the back of the net, but trailing by 2, it might not be enough. Frank Gonzalez stands over the dead ball. Trying to navigate around the 2-man Playmaker wall. Delivery to the back post and off target, but off of a defender. So it's going to be another corner, this one on the far side.
When you look back at the result of this game, you got to look back at the fight the Scorpions put in within the last 10 to 20 minutes here. This is something that you definitely wanted to see all game. I'll reiterate it. But unfortunately, a little too short.
Delivery to the front post and unable to put it on target is Blanco. And there is the final whistle as Playmaker SC, champions of the Southern California Conference in the UPSL Division 1, as they defeat FC Scorpions 3-1 here in Linwood. A gut-wrenching conclusion to the season for FC Scorpions, their inaugural season in the UPSL Division 1, a season in which they were undefeated through 10 games, 9 wins and a draw coming into this matchup that would have secured a championship and promotion. But to put it simply, they were second best tonight. But they can certainly hold their head high on what they've accomplished this season, what they're building as a team, as a community, as Linwood has something brewing for them here with FC Scorpions. And you know, they're not going home with any hardware this season, but what a step this is for this team and this community.
100%. And although this is not the result that all the Scorpions fans would have wanted, the community in Linwood, but when you look back at this season, you mention it, inaugural season. This is unheard of. Through the first 4 games, they had like a 30-1 goal difference. That's just something that's unheard of in really all of soccer. They were able to put themselves on the map, put themselves up as a serious contender, someone to fear not only within the division, but in UPSL Division 1. We saw a little bit of what would be the Scorpions' best later in this game, but it was a little too late. And that's something to build off of. That's something the Scorpions have done all year. That was the kind of team that we usually see. And although this wasn't the result, I mean, this was a dominant season from the Scorpions. You know, not many teams are able to do this. Not many teams put up that many goals and have this many saves. And I think they should all really look back at the season and just be proud of how they played. And all the Scorpions fans should be proud of how the Scorpions players have played this entire year. You got to mention it. First season, what they did was amazing. And they should definitely be proud of themselves.
Yeah, and they're walking over here, the home fans recognizing their Scorpions team. What a season it was. Fox, we had an opportunity to talk with some of the players before the game, and talking with Captain Frank Gonzalez, I asked him about what promotion would mean for this team and this community, and he said it's going to open a lot of doors for not just us, but this community of Linwood. And you know, they didn't reach that goal tonight, you know, losing this championship game. Congratulations to Playmakers FC, but I hope Frank Gonzalez goes home tonight realizing that those doors certainly are still open for this team and this community. What an inaugural year that these guys have put together in such a little amount of time. You know, they talked about how they were just kind of put together. They didn't really know each other at all. And look at them now. I mean, made it all the way to the championship game in an inaugural season. What an accomplishment for them. They came up short tonight, but they can hold their head high on a wonderful, wonderful opening season.
No, 100%. And you mentioned it. They've definitely opened a lot of eyeballs with how they've been playing and all the players that score. I mean, we watched Frank Gonzalez dominate all year. We watched him take crazy shots from outside the box that you don't see anywhere else. And yeah, no, they have opened a lot of doors for themselves. They played great all year. And I mean, you talked about it. It's really hard, but it is impressive that they were able, a team full of people that don't know each other, come in, figure out how they play, and win this many games and dominate a division, and evidently put themselves in the position to be able to play for promotion. That's impressive in itself, and they should definitely be proud of what they did this season.
Once again, Playmaker FC, champions of the UPSL Division 1 Southern California Conference. Congratulations to them, but congratulations to FC Scorpions for One heck of an inaugural season in the UPSL Division 1. Certainly plenty more stories to be told here in Linwood, with FC Scorpions writing the pages of that story. This chapter hurts, it certainly does, but it's only the beginning of the story that has plenty more to go. From myself, Zach Durham, and Fox Figueroa to my right, thank you for joining in to tonight. Not just tonight's broadcast, but all of this season's broadcast on the FC Scorpions YouTube channel. We thank you for tuning in all season long and hope to see your continued support and see where this FC Scorpions team goes in the future. But we'll be back for the spring season of spring 2026. We'll have more information for you on our socials. Make sure to follow Football Scorpions on Instagram, Twitter. And once again, this season's over, but this story is not. As FC Scorpions, Linwood, they're not done yet, but that'll do it for tonight. Once again, from myself, Zach, and Fox, thank you for tuning in. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your Sunday night.
Every game, every fight, every moment. At Sports Pulse Digital, we capture the action and turn it into stories that last. From live streams that bring the crowd home, to media days that spotlight athletes, to action photography and mic'd up videos that keep fans engaged. We do it all. Because every athlete deserves to be seen. Sports Pulse Digital. Your game, your story, your moment. Visit sportspulsedigital.com to learn more.